Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a long time. We are back behind the pit wall. We are here for Canada, trying to turn this thing around. And we have some things we need to take care of before it's all said and done. We have some things to take note of. They finished manufacturing some rear wings. We got some post-race data from Monaco, of course, coming off of a very tough outing at Monaco like it normally is. And our suspension design is now complete. We also have some things to take care of when it comes to Logan's car. We have a few things on medium risk, and we have a couple of things that have absolutely failed. We need to honestly probably look at... We only have 2 of these, which means we should probably make some new side pods. We have none of the new ones. We have none that are being made. How many of these can we make? So we have 2 of the old spec. We can't even make more. I fear that we may have spent a little too much money at the beginning part of the season. So this is gonna get really interesting as the season goes on, because boy oh boy, is it gonna be cutting real close towards the end of the season. We finished our research on the underfloor. That's good. I'm excited to get this research stuff going. Looks like we actually made pretty decent gains, all things considered. I don't think we have any... Yeah, we have no research or design hours left, no A&B hours left, so we'll just go ahead and continue on. Where basically at this point we need to recoup is a little bit of money. We've been going ham, kind of spending money left and right, and so we really need to reel it back in. Try to, if we can, try to recoup some money and build up some money stores again, because we're down to $1 million, and that is going to come very, very, very quick as we see mixed defending go up by 1. We'll take that. Our side pods low stock. I know we spent all the money to design the new one. I think we need to make more of the old one. And I think we can only make 2. We're gonna need it. 1 crash and we're absolutely out to pasture for sure. I think we're going to try and hold off on putting new things on the car for now, just to see. Yeah, we can't risk the spending because we got no money. We just got paid again, so we just got a nice influx of about $1 million. But honestly, we can't go crazy, unfortunately. We cannot afford it at all. Overall morale is low, except for Mick. We're doing what we can, man. We're doing what we can. We're gonna continue on. We're gonna hope that we get some decent results here as we head to Canada and prep for Canada. Let's see what we got here. Race preview. Charles is still leading the championship by 10 points over Max, and Carlos also right there with 133. Ferrari leading the constructors as well. Imagine. This is a balanced circuit. Our car is not suited due to its low speed performance. It's gonna get interesting. I think we might try something new. We might try something new this race just to see if we can make something happen, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Formula One has arrived here in Quebec, and we're excited to get underway.
It's wet.
Let's hope it's not going to be Groundhog Day. The local rodents have disrupted more than one race day here in the past. The Canadian Grand Prix is ready to kick off, and the only drama on the track we want to see is the best drivers in the world battling it out for a place on that podium.
It is wet out. Oh man, is it wet. Okay, light rain on Sunday. Just a cloudy... And I'm glad I didn't bring any new components to this race.
Now it's time to see who'll come out on top.
I'm glad I didn't bring any new components because there was going to be no real opportunities to get them to have the confidence. All right, they're both at 90, which is good. We need to make sure they're on the good stuff again. Let's do it! Qualifying 1, Canada, on the way. Oh, pain. Oh, I left him on doing 2 laps, so I need to remember to take him off of doing 2 laps. Mick did improve. Okay, it's not gonna rain.
We will box at the end of this lap, please. Box at the end of this lap.
Mick did improve slightly, but not enough. We're immediately going down to... We're gonna be on our final laps here. We're in 20th and 21st. Not a great look, if we're being honest. Not a great look at all. Go on, Logan. Go on, Mick. Here we go. This is gonna get interesting. We'll hop on board with Mick, as I don't think we really have much of a chance, but you know, we're gonna try and be optimistic here. Here we go. Let's see, can we get anywhere close to making it out of Q1 here, past the Wall of Champions, down the main straight towards turn 1. Not too shabby, a little squirrely on the ins and the outs, but it is what it is. Does he improve? He doesn't even improve on his first sector, and neither does Logan. Logan improves on a second sector at least. Gonna have a lot of traffic by the looks of it, so this might be curtains for us already. We did get a little bit of a tow, I suppose, but it's not gonna happen, unfortunately. It's just we are well off the pace. Logan officially out-qualifies Mick, and we are so far out, it hurts. Actually, though. You know, the part that sucks too is Mick's confidence is peak, but it's just our car is just that slow. Yuki goes 8th. We are last and second to last. Tough, 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 tough. Tough, 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 tough. A Carlos Sainz pole position. Carlos Sainz pole position. Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Max Verstappen and Lando Norris on the second row. Charles Leclerc P5. Sergio Perez P6. Fernando Alonso 7th. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton 8th and 9th. And Nico Hülkenberg rounding out the top 10 in qualifying.
70 laps of the Canadian Grand Prix await our drivers here in Montreal.
Named after the legendary Canadian driver, the circuit Gilles Villeneuve has been host to plenty of first-time winners. Jean Alesi, Lewis Hamilton, Robert Kubica, and Daniel Ricciardo all got their maiden victories here.
Gilles Villeneuve is a quick, free-flowing circuit in parts with a stop-start aspect thrown in for good measure around the chicanes and hairpin bends. Medium-speed downforce will play a large part in avoiding the Wall of Champions and ensuring success at this iconic track. Well, there's nothing quite like it. Welcome along to race day.
Race day. Race day. Light rain. Inters. You want me to go inters the whole way? That's what you want me to do. Inters the whole way. Is it just gonna be light rain the whole way? Is this just gonna be a situation where we're going to have to like go on the fly with it? Feels like that might have to be the thing. We might just have to start on the inters and then just make the decisions as we go. This is gonna get fascinating. For some reason it has Logan on a 1 stop, but Mick not. Did I change that? No, it legitimately has him on a 1 stop. Interesting. Alright, we're gonna have to figure this one out on the fly. The rain races sometimes can be the make or break. We're gonna start 1 lap down on fuel. It's starting on inters for both. And we're gonna have to try and make something happen here. Let's do it. The Canadian Grand Prix coming your way.
Welcome back, everyone. The final preparations.
Please tell me other people are on inters.
Head into the race. There's a lot of talk about
Nico!
that man, Nico Hulkenberg.
Ooh, getting bad. Here we go.
This is it. We're moments
All right, other
away
people
now
are on inters.
from the Canadian
We're starting
Grand
off on the
Prix.
right foot at least. To 5, red lights.
And it's lights out, and away we
Piastri
go.
got a terrible start. Everybody's on inters. Alright, I want to take a look at this. It is going to be wet the whole way. Oh man, this is going to get interesting to say the least. This is going to get interesting. Logan up to 18th, by the way. Off to a pretty fantastic start, if I do say so myself. Trying to make some moves up, trying to catch the Alpine of Esteban Ocon. And then we have Mick down in P20, kind of just hanging out in the pack. Okay, I was gonna say, I thought that was something else, but it was not. But not too shabby. I think with Logan we can lean on the tires a little bit more, obviously with him being on the one stop. I'd be fascinated to know if we changed him to... Ooh, it'd be pushing it. It'd be pushing it. Correct. Correct. This is going to get interesting, actually, to see who are the people who are going to try to do a one-stop to the end versus the people who are going to stop and try to utilize fresher tires across the whole race distance. Fittipaldi makes the move on us because the Williams is just that much better than us. We realistically can't leave it on push fuel forever because we do need to save fuel at some point. Let's see. Mick fighting and losing a spot to Kevin Magnussen. Probably gained that one at the start. The Haas probably going to make light work of us if I had to make a tough one. You're right. Stroll did start from the pit lane. Interesting. First time I seen that, I didn't even notice. I thought Logan just got a really good start, but no. Apparently Stroll having to make a change. There goes the Haas down by us. So, as always, our pairing are always free to fight. At this point, I mean, if you're going to finish on the back, at the back, you might as well give the people a good show. Oh. And there it goes. We'll see if Mick and Logan make some kind of determination amongst themselves. Taking a look at the rest of the grid, we have a Sainz leading Verstappen, leading Norris and Piastri. We saw Piastri get an absolutely horrific launch off the start, so he drops down to P4. Leclerc and Perez 5th and 6th. Alonso, Russell 7th and 8th, and then Hulkenberg and Tsunoda with a fantastic start as well. Hulkenberg up to 9th and Tsunoda in 10th. Hamilton just outside the points, and then Albon 12th. Gasly, Bottas, Ricardo, Zhou, Ocon, Fittipaldi, Magnussen, Sargent, Schumacher, and Stroll rounding out the grid. This is going to be a long race. I can already tell you, because with the rain and no DRS, it's just going to highlight, I think, the fact that our car is not great. It continues to not be great, and it's going to be a long season, to say the least, if we don't get fired literally by the end of the season. This might temporarily dip into dry conditions, potentially, or at minimum, like, really almost on the line. Alright, Logan's tires are borderline overheating, or at least starting to overheat, so we'll drop him down. I'm curious to see if anyone else is gonna stop in this race. I'll be fascinated to see. I mean, I might just pit one of them just because, in the grand scheme of things. But at the same time, like, if we're gonna finish at the back, we might as well just commit to the bit at this point, right? So We're already almost 3 seconds behind Magnussen and Fittipaldi, so it's gonna be one of those races. We might be speeding this one up a little bit. I'm curious to see what tire wear looks like up and down the field. Magnussen's only on 90% inners, so he must be absolutely pushing full on. I kind of would like to see Mick get by Logan here to see if he can make something happen. Try and push forward a little bit. But I also don't want to tell Logan to get out of the way, because then Stroll is definitely going through. And at minimum right now, we are hitting our race targets. So it looks like Mick definitely has the pace advantage over Logan. It's just he's not been able to make the move. As Stroll tries to make the move, and now it looks like Stroll is going to get past Mick, and I spoke too soon. So unfortunate, to say the least. We are about to be running at the back, and I don't know if it's going to get much better from here. Verstappen officially takes the lead from Sainz. Piastri now up into 3rd. Leclerc down to 4th. Perez 5th. Norris down to 6th. Wonder what happened there. Norris and Perez fighting. Verstappen officially sets the fastest lap. Norris and Perez are battling it out for P5, with Leclerc and Piastri battling just ahead of them. Take a look at the gaps again. We can see how we're doing. Stroll gets by Logan, and we are officially running at the back. We'll be interested to see if we can even manage to hold on at all. Otherwise, we might be doing a quick time event for this race, because boy oh boy, just running at the back and slowly falling back to the pack does not sound very fun at all. Yeah. Oh, it looks like the dampness dipped down to 1.01, stayed there for a moment, and then ticked back up to 2. I think I was right in saying that it was going to basically hit about as dry as it could be while still being classified as damp. Unfortunate, really. We're closing up on being 1/7 of the way through this race. At this point, I'm gonna tell Logan to get out of the way for Mick, and we'll see if Mick can do anything in clear air. We'll leave Logan on don't fight, teammate. Mick already flying off into the distance. We got a brief yellow flag. Someone locked up. Ocon locking up. Might be the most action we see all race. Down into the hairpin. Whoa! Almost took out the Sauber as well. Almost. Zhou almost got sent packing there. Alright, Mick has already put 1.4 seconds on Logan's head, so it seems like Mick might have been getting held up just a little bit on this one, so unfortunate to say the least. We're going to need someone to DNF in this race, I think, to hit our targets, because it doesn't look like Mick has the pace to catch Stroll or anybody else at this point, unless they really start fighting, and they're going to have to start fighting and fighting soon. Otherwise, I just think it's just not going to happen, unfortunately. We'll do our best, but at the same time, it's going to be a long shot, to say the least. It's absolutely going to be a long shot, and I just do not have that high hopes based on the team now. I think we probably will start introducing some of the upgrades we have already made, just to see if we can make anything a little better. But at the same time, it's just not. It's just not. The best way I can say is it's just not. Mick does have some full ERS, so we can utilize some ERS, try and close up the gap, maybe even just a little bit. Yeah, I think the wet race in this one is going to hold us back here. We'll go ahead and take this up to 4x. I don't think there's much point in really sitting around watching our two drivers just putt around at the back, trying to make something happen that just isn't going to. Pop them both back down. Mick did close up a little bit to Enzo and Stroll, who look like they're fighting just a little bit, so it's not, them fighting in the mixture of ERS and them fighting, I think, helped us out. Stroll is now left Fittipaldi in the dust, so maybe Mick now has a bit of a target to shoot for. We'll see if he's able to catch up the Williams, but I think the Williams is definitely just going to be just too good comparatively over us. I'll say Mick does have high confidence, and even Logan's still on, you know, medium confidence, so. But at the same time, I say that and I look up and Mick has already lost over a second to the Williams in clear air, so. Tough. It's gonna take a minute, I think, to really be able to make some moves moving forward. I think we definitely need, I tell you what, we'll use this opportunity to talk about the things we need to focus on going forward in the team, which is making money. We need money to operate. I think we got a little too eclectic in the beginning when it came to spending money. We kind of did a little bit of here, a little bit of there, and I don't know if that's quite the strategy that we should be taking. We did a full slew of upgrades that we at this point cannot afford to make, which sucks. We have no money for research. We have no money for making replacement car parts, which I think is the big thing that got me right at the beginning too. Is I went too full gung-ho trying to make the car rocket ship immediately, and it was not the move. I think we're going to be eating the downsides to that decision for a while. And I think we're going to have to try and make something happen the rest of this year just to not get fired ultimately. And I think next year we'll have to be a little more resourceful with our spending, be a little more careful seeing how we allocate funds, because I don't think just doing all 100% car upgrades is the way to go, because I just don't think that's how you can do it, mainly because it just leaves you with such little money to do things elsewhere. So it's gonna be a whole thing, to say the least, and I think we're quickly approaching our thoughts at just going full 16x, get this race out of the way and see if anything happens in these last, 35 laps? 45 laps. 45 is what I meant to say. Not too, I keep saying not too bad. We're about to be laps at this point. Hulkenberg up into 8th. Piastri has a orange mechanical fault issue. Alonso's up to 6th. Fascinating to say the least. Sainz sets a new fastest lap. It's going to be interesting to see Sainz mechanical fault. That's going to put a dent in his running. Verstappen new fastest lap. It seems like people are speeding up. Sargent about to be lapped. Zhou with a mistake drops down to 18th. Magnussen gets passed by Stroll. It's gonna be an interesting top 10, I think. Well, the back half of the top 10, to say the least. You have Hulkenberg in 8th. Russell trying to chase him down.
Get ready.
Copy.
Okay. We're going to officially transition him to just the one stop, because I don't think it's gonna make any kind of difference. We're gonna keep an eye on things as this race progresses, but I think ultimately Tsunoda does in fact pit. Okay, there are people actually pitting in the race, so Ocon pits. Mick officially up into 20th. Let's go. Logan is still well off the pace, and now we are in the midst of dealing with loud traffic and things, so I don't think there's going to be anything we can really do in the grand scheme of things. So we'll move this one along.
Keep your cool, it's all good.
It's all good. He didn't hit anything.
Let's see what
Right?
happened there.
He didn't hit anything.
Here we go, heading into turn 1. Struggling with the car. But
All
that's just the risk you take. The later you leave.
Okay. But he didn't hit anything. He didn't hit anything, and that's the important part we have to remember. If he hit something, that's actual worst case scenario. But he didn't, so that's good. I think it's gonna tick kind of close to dry again. Norris now with a mechanical fault. McLaren's just falling in the mud. Kevin Magnussen in the pits for a while.
How's the track? And DRS enabled.
The track is officially dry. It is dry for but a moment. DRS is enabled at the moment. DRS is enabled. Which I find fascinating. Everyone's on inters. DRS is enabled. No one has dove into the pits trying to make a dash for slicks, as you might have seen in games gone by. It is about to tick back into damp, so it was fun while it lasted, but it just will not last forever, unfortunately. And we're back, baby. Coming up to lap 50 here in a lap or so. And Fittipaldi has already closed up like the 6-second gap that we had to him, trying to hold on to P20 in this one. I fear it just won't do much for us here. We see Hulkenberg down into 13th all of a sudden. Albon's up into the points. Looks like some people were pitting and some people were not pitting. We could probably confirm that just by looking at tires. Yep, Hulkenberg's on 89, Tsunoda's on 84, Perez is on 90, so he pit. It'll be interesting to see how Perez does to the rest of the front pack. Being he's already moving up, he's up into 4th. The problem is he has a 34-second gap to close and less than 20 laps to go. Oh, we are just destroying fuel right now. That's something we're gonna have to keep an eye on. We would like to at least finish the race, if at all possible. I think unfortunately we're gonna have to start doing a target race position of 21st for both drivers, because I think it's just not feasible really to expect Mick to finish 20th without DNFs at this point. I think our car actually just is that bad. Alright, let's be honest. Let's just get back to green on fuel and then let's get back to green on fuel and then we'll just put them back to normal and we'll be on our way. I just really don't want to push it. I run into that issue before and it did not go well. Alright, there we go. Good enough. Good enough. I mean, not good enough. We are quite literally running last. Like last. By a wide margin last. Shaw said you got a streamer who's doing season 5 of his save. After 12 rounds, there's 6 different race winners and 13 different drivers finished on the podium. That's awesome. I can't wait to get there. Right now, we're lounging at the back and not feeling great about it. I think we've been lapped again, maybe? I couldn't tell you. No, Logan has been lapped twice. Everyone else up to 10th has been lapped once. Ricardo now the mechanical fault. There's a lot of people in that mid-pack that have mechanical faults. And look, it looks like we're on the way to a Max Verstappen win and a double Ferrari podium. Perez made his way back up to 4th, but just not able to close the distance from there. Hulkenberg making a last-minute charge to get back up at 8th. Piastri looks like he might have had a moment. Piastri lock up into turn 9, now down to 10th. Albon into 9th. Magnussen down to 20th. 3 laps to go. Get us out of here because I am ready to go. I'm ready to go, not have any money to do anything else. And it's gonna be tough. We might... I don't even know, man. I think I messed up just the beginning of this save, and I think it's just really hurting us, to say the least. It sucks, but at the same time, it's a mistake we're gonna have to eat. Let's hop on board with Mick. Motion sickness warning. But it's just, yeah, I think I made a right hash of the beginning of this save, and we're gonna be playing catch up the entire rest of the season. After this, we'll be going into round 10 with no clear direction in the team, just because we will not have the funds to make anything happen, and we're gonna be scrambling, to say the least, as we continue on. But I don't know, man. It's tough. Let's round the final chicane. Let's cross the line. Let's get out of here.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
That's the checker flag.
Logan is a full 20. Albon crashed! Albon crashed! Wall of Champions? Oh, he hit the Wall of Champions! He is a champion!
Oh, sorry, guys.
He is a champion! Looks like he holds on to a... Guys, he scored a point. That's good. Guys, he scored a point. That's good.
Okay, we take the flag.
You know what? I would kill for a single point at this stage. I'd murder for one.
There's Alex Albon making his way back.
Go on, Alex. Go on, the boy. Tough scenes. And Max Verstappen when Charles Leclerc P2, Carlos Sainz P3. Yuki Tsunoda comes home with the fastest lap. Not too shabby. We are holding up the rear of the drivers and the constructors at this point. Ferrari do not technically extend their lead in the constructors. Red Bull closes in on by 4 points, but they do pull a pretty sizable gap to McLaren, who had a pretty tough day with the issues that they had. Looking at it, nowhere near the top 10 in fastest pit stops as well. We are just sliding down the scale of pit stops, as we are now down to P9 in that one. We actually didn't even pit, so that goes to show how forgettable that race was, because we didn't even pit.